Hello, welcome back again. Sadly, I'm straight from work, so I haven't even had a chance to change into my training gear yet, but you'll have to cope with that. I'll no doubt regret it when I have to do some kicking later on when I'm wearing a pair of jeans. But for now, we're going to carry on looking at Shillelagh. Everything we looked at last week was to do with what happens once we get in close. We get this kind of pivotal position here, and I'm looking at kind of striking here. The last concept that I really want to cover before I round things up next week is the concept of fury. Now, this really is common in a lot of martial arts. And the idea that I don't want to, like if I was fencing, I don't want to kind of go, boom, there's my strike, and then retreat out of range as if I've won some kind of duel. This is much more of a self-defense situation. So after I've landed that first strike, the next thing I want to do is land another strike and another one until I am sure this is over. And really that's all the concept of fury is at what point do I realise I've landed a successful hit and then press that advantage until my opponent can no longer pose me a threat. But there are a few techniques which kind of exemplify this. So let's have a look at it. I'm going to drag you over this side just for ease of visibility. So one of them we looked at last week, and it's very easy to see that if I was to deliver a strike which was parried, and I do my charge in as my opponent returns to guard, we end up in this central pivot position, and I looked at this strike here, strike, 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 rather than just getting into this position, delivering my strike and getting out of range, which would still be a hit. I might still have broken a collarbone, but he still has another hand and a stick. I'm still under threat. So instead, from here, I deliver that strike, and the next one just continues to bring it until a point where I think I might be able to get a disarm or something that would allow me to neutralise my opponent. So that's one example of fury, is that once I've landed that blow, I keep going. There are others. One of the specific ones given is the jig. We're back into the weird naming of things. So the idea of the jig is that it's quite common from a lot of situations. So if there was going to be a strike coming down towards my head, I might block that, and then because all of the cane and everything is up here, there's nothing to stop me delivering a front kick into my opponent here. Obviously I wouldn't do that normally, because if I was here and deliver a front kick, I'm going to get a stick in the leg, and I'm going to get a broken leg. But if everything's up high, then I can stop that, boom, punt. Now if I just do that, I've delivered one kick, I'm in here, I could then start moving on here, but it doesn't really flow with this idea of fury. So instead, we kind of go a little bit river dance on it. So instead what I'm going to do is, as that cane comes in and lands here, I'm going to step out with a kick from the other leg, but really that is just a counterbalance to allow me to jump into the second kick, which is really hard to do in slow motion. So the idea is from here, attack comes in, boom, boom, boom. I can get 2 attacks in at that level relatively quickly. They might be a bit higher, as I said, if I wasn't wearing boots. But this idea that as soon as I get a chance, blast in a few hits. Why do one hit when you can put in 2 or 3? Another example of this is sometimes I can use this to overcome or change about a situation which isn't working in my favour. So for example, if we were sparring somewhere, we'd got in towards this kind of pivotal thing, and Ian was able to hook my wrist. As he brings that over the top, I would now be looking at either having to let go of my cane or being pushed right the way over. Neither of these are good. But what I'm going to do here is, rather than worry about the cane, I'm going to let it go, trap the arm, let go of the cane, and just start laying in with my fist. And because if I can break his face open, sorry, it's very nice that I punch him in the face and he gives me my cane back, but if I can just break into his face, actually I've got that element of fury going that he can't really respond until he's got me off him in the first place, by which point it may well be too late. So really that's the concept of fury, and I'm not going to go on about it any more than that really. It's just a case of once I've got in, I need to keep going in, I need to keep hitting, and any opportunity where I'm going to be on the back foot in some way, I want to find a way to start pushing forward again against my opponent. So that's really all I'm going to say on fury, so I'm going to catch you next week when we're going to go through our final session, which is the goodbye. and we'll finish up this session on Shillelagh. So, hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll catch you next week.